trans people are not taking your jobs. Trans people are not the reason why gas costs $4, $5 a gallon. Trans people are not the reason why our education systems are failing. Trans people are not the reason why we are engaged in another war. Trans people are not the cause for your social ills. We are not the cause for your social ills in the way that many groups who have been like isolated and marginalized and blamed have also not been a cause for those social ills. And I think people are starting to realize, like, wait a second. Why are we talking about who can go into what bathroom right now when I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to afford groceries at the end of this week? Like, right? Why are we talking about what my gender marker looks like on my license when I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill up my gas tank, or I'm going to be able to have health care, or there are so many other issues that Americans are clamoring for our leadership to deal with. And for whatever reason, I mean, we have several reasons, the trans folks have just become the spotlight, and it is getting a lot harder to take people off of what is actually at stake. And it is a lot harder we can no longer be the distraction issue. We really...
Right, well, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, because everybody professed to care about the kitchen table issues, right? And it seems like they didn't as much as they did. It was more about having a worldview that looked very similar to the world that they wanted for themselves and didn't really care about other people's rights. And at the same time, LGBTQ plus organizations have been warning people that it was never just about sports. It was never just about the kids, because we see them going after trans rights for adults as well and taking away driver's licenses and things like that. Why is it that people, because it's got to be enraging in some ways, it is for me, that they had to wait until it was too late? Almost, meaning they had to wait until almost all of their rights are now being stripped away as well, like the gas prices, the war, etc. What is it about people that they don't want to learn before it's too late? Tori, you can answer.
Well, I think so. I'm going to give some people the benefit of the doubt here, and I usually don't say that when it comes to folks who voted for Trump, but I will give some people the benefit of the doubt. They didn't think it could be this bad. Mm-hmm. They didn't think that these policies would affect them. And to continue kind of in the vein that Reg said, if you are a woman and you happen to be a cisgender woman and you happen to be built a little bit different, or you're a bit more masculine or less feminine presenting, you could be someone that's accosted in a bathroom. Because the Republicans said that trans people were doing things in bathrooms that we're not. And the truth is, trans people, we just want to go to the bathroom, pee and poop in peace, and then wash our hands, because we're really clean people and we always wash our hands. And so we're also not people, because the administration has continued to create these ridiculous lies about trans people. You think about service and military service in particular. Reg, you're a veteran, aren't you?
I am not. I'm from a family of veterans.
A family of veterans. Right.
Yeah.
So thank them for their service. But with that being said, there are people who didn't think that policies prohibiting trans people from serving would affect them. But there now is talk about a draft. Imagine if all trans people who wanted to serve in the military were able to serve. Perhaps then they wouldn't be so scared that folks are going to have their sons go, because the Trump administration is also saying that women aren't fit for service. And so there's so many things that people perhaps didn't think would apply to them. You think of insurance is another great example of that. There's insurance is being cut. ADAP programs, like in the state of Florida and about 21 other places, are changing. They're either already in the process or considering making changes to ADAP and Medicare and Medicaid. And that affects more than just trans people. In the grand scheme of things, we're a relatively small community when compared to cisgender people. I want to make that distinction clear. And yet, the policies that affect us also affect other people.
Oh, absolutely. Just with the decision by the Olympic Committee, now all women have to be genetically tested.
Correct. And may I add to that very quickly, please, Maya? I was thinking about this earlier today when I was having a discussion over this, and they asked me, well, how do you feel about this? I think it's stupid. And not just is it stupid, but who determines what those results are? And what if someone has an ambiguous result? Does that then mean that there's someone who must do a physical inspection? And who grants them the authority to make that physical determine based on what they see and what they don't? So I think some people would say, oh, that's far-fetched what I just said. But is it?
No, not in these times we're in. I think we're seeing just how extreme things have become.
Correct.
Yeah.
Lucina, there are police around the country who are saying that bathroom bills are not enforceable. They're dangerous. They're ridiculous. They're unnecessary. And I also like to make this clear. Two of us are trans and two of us on this call have children who are trans. I will say this to every person that's listening. If you know the genitals of the person in the stall next to you, then you're the one who should be arrested and not them.
Absolutely. And what I think people fail to realize is that in the United States, you can't run from this anymore either. It used to be, I'm okay. I'm in a blue state, so I'll be fine. And then we see these federal laws coming. But now we're also seeing a situation where the California governor race is looking a little dicey. And so all of a sudden, maybe we won't have those protections. Lucina, as a storyteller, what kind of stories need to be told now going into the future that can help people understand how you can't run from these kind of fascist laws, that they will catch up to us eventually?
Exactly, that we all have to understand we play a role and we have a role to play. And, Frank says it so well when he's like, you folks in blue states, you got to wake up. Like, this is happening. And very quickly, we saw that once the Supreme Court decision, came down around gender affirming care, that clinics in blue states were closing, right? Clinics that, my family used. And it's shocking. And it should wake us all up to the fact that, as you say, there is no safe place. Even families who have left the country, they're seeing in other countries these anti-trans bills, many of them modeled on legislation here in the US, are popping up in Europe, in South America. And the reality is, this is a global issue.